Thunder Rolling in the Mountains by Scott Odell and Elizabeth Hall. Chapter 10. We had come to a second vast valley of brush and willows and tall white trees. A clear stream ran silently from one far shore to another. A day's slow journey on horseback. Blossoms were scattered through the tall grass waving beside the water. We were tired from our long travels, and the old people stumbled at every step they took. But the redcoats strode through the camp with their chests out and their red jackets taunting those who would dare to stop them. Looking Glass said we would stay at this place for 3 suns. Here we could cut teepee poles and let them dry. Birch trees with tall, smooth trunks grew everywhere along the shores. They were the best trees for teepee poles. Our women cut down stacks of the saplings, peeled them clean, and set them out to dry in the sun. Without them, we would have had to sleep beneath the stars. We would need the poles during the rest of our flight. We gathered food to eat along the way. The warriors hunted antelope and black-tailed deer, and the old men caught fish. The women dug roots. No one thought of the white soldiers we had left behind in Montana. No one except Lone Bird, one of our brave warriors. He rode through the camp telling the chiefs that we must stay on the trail. "I do not trust the bluecoats," he said. "Maybe they are close behind us. Keep going. Move fast. Death may be following on our trail." Wah Lit Its agreed. He told of his dream. "Last night I saw myself killed. I do not turn back from death, but first I will kill some soldiers. My brothers, my sisters, I am telling you, we are all going to die." He offered to take the redcoats and scout back along the trail. Whitebird said that was good, but Looking Glass told Wah Lit Its to hunt antelope instead. "The bluecoats are far away across the mountains," he said. "Our horses are weary and need rest. This is a peaceful place, and here we are safe. Your dream was idle fancy, no more." We forgot Lone Bird's warning and Wah Lit Its dream. When the hunters came back, it was a happy night. For supper, we ate speckled trout and camas roots baked in ashes and the last of the huckleberries we had picked along the way. Swan Necklace polished his boots and put bear grease on his hair. He fairly glistened. He said kind words about my eagle feather and goose quill jacket and the blue beaded band I wore around my forehead. But he was so full of his part in battle that he could talk of little else. I was proud of him. To please him, I said, "You'll be a chieftain after just one more battle with the bluecoats. They'll come sneaking along again in a few days, and I'll kill some more." Children made ugly masks of the dead soldiers with eyes hanging down on their cheeks and pieces of ears cut off. They dug holes and buried the masks deep and laughed and hummed secret songs that they made up. Our ponies and mules were tethered above the stream where they could be watched during the night. Sentries were placed on the crest of the valley, but not enough of them. The camp slept well. In the willows, frogs croaked their night song. A child screamed and dogs barked. A woman who had been wounded at Whitebird moaned. Those were all the sounds I heard before daybreak. The sky was cold gray when I woke from a troubled sleep and crawled out of the teepee. I had picked up a pot to fill with water for the morning meal when the first shot crossed the stream. It came from a tree close behind me. Wah Lit Its, wrapped in a long red coat, had gone out to see that the herd was still safely tied up. He marched along the shore with a warrior's step. A second bullet struck him in the back and knocked him down. He was the one who had killed Richard Devine and started the war, and the enemy knew it. Wah Lit Its crawled to the stream. He was falling in the water when his wife came out of their teepee. She was heavy with child. She would bear him and walked slowly. She caught him in her arms and held him until he gave one long gasp and was dead. The man who had killed Wah Lit Its stood over her, saying something. I could not hear, putting bullets in his smoking gun. The next bullet struck her in the chest. She staggered but made no sound. Somehow she got the gun from him and took aim and shot him in the face. Then she sank on the ground and died. My father lurched from his bed and ran outside. He thrust my baby sister into my arms. The air was filled with shouts and war whoops and the cries of children, cut through by the sound of shooting. Bullets tore through the camp like hailstones. Fires burned along the shores from one teepee to another. Women with children clutching their skirts and babies on their backs ran out of teepees screaming. My father told them to leave the stream and hide on the hillside in the brush. By this time, all the teepees were burning. My mother ran out with her braided hair on fire. Some of the women tried to hide in the stream, but it was too shallow and their heads stuck out of the water. Soldiers shot at their heads and killed all except a child who was able to crawl along the bottom and grasp some willows along the shore. Our warriors drove the soldiers back across the stream and through the willows. Then Looking Glass gathered our warriors and scattered them through the bottom between the streams and the far hills. They dug pits, set up carbines, and built rock walls high enough to shoot over and not to be shot at by the soldiers. Their guns were not new, and their bullets soft got stuck in the barrels and the barrels exploded. They had no food, and it was hard to reach the stream without being shot. Yet, from the hour Looking Glass put them in the pits, they fought until the gun barrels melted. At nightfall, Chief Joseph went to the dirt pits and counted. He found 31 of our people dead and 26 badly wounded. Most of the dead and wounded were women, old men, and children. Some had been shot as they slept, still rolled in their blankets. Some had been clubbed by the soldiers when they took charge of the camp at dawn. We lost 12 warriors. Red Moccasin Tops was dead, killed by a bullet that struck him in the throat. Of the redcoats, only Swan Necklace lived. My father could not count the enemy soldiers who were slain and the wounded in the hills, but our warriors said that the bluecoats lay thick upon the ground. Lean Elk, who had joined us only a few suns before, fought valiantly. He led a group that seized the soldiers' cannon, broke it, and pushed it into the swamp. They captured enough bullets to fight many battles, yet we had taken a loss we dared not suffer another day. Fighting stopped when the night hawks began to fly. Swan Necklace and I held hands and talked about the day we would be married and live once more in the beautiful Wallowa. We watched two girls combing their wet hair. They had spent most of the day in the stream, swimming in the shallows and coming up to breathe. Then I went to help with the wounded. My mother had been hit as she ran for the stream, her hair in flames. We fought for her life all night, there by the water. My father held her in his arms, away from the smoldering camp and the starlit sky, to the world beyond. When she died, my father said, "Will this hatred ever end? It sickens my heart. All men were made by the same great spirit chief, yet we shoot one another down like animals."